You're sitting there, phone in your hand. The chat is open. You've seen their name light up before. You felt that small rush, that quiet hope. But this time, you don't reach. No typing, no deleting, no hey, just stillness. And it feels strange. Not heavy, not urgent. Just different. Your mind starts talking. Why don't I care right now? Am I done or just tired? Why does this feel like peace instead of panic? Do they even notice I stopped chasing? Is something wrong with me? Or was something always off? And here's the truth that shifts everything. You didn't suddenly lose interest. You finally stopped overfunctioning for a connection that wasn't meeting you back. You're not failing at love. You're waking up to imbalance. This isn't the end of your capacity to love. This is the beginning of your ability to see clearly. And by the end of this video, you'll understand exactly why an avoidant partner reacts when you pull your energy back, what's happening beneath their silence, and how to shift the dynamic so connection becomes possible again without chasing, pressure, or losing yourself. Let's get into it. Most couples believe that when one person pulls away, it means they stopped caring. But the real truth is this. When emotional safety drops, people don't stop loving first. They start protecting themselves first. Your partner's nervous system is reading your presence, your tone, your energy, long before their mind forms a sentence. When things feel unpredictable, overwhelming, or emotionally intense, an avoidant pattern begins to activate. Not because they don't care, but because closeness starts to feel like pressure instead of connection. When you stop chasing, arguing, over-explaining, or trying to pull them closer, you're no longer feeding the cycle that makes them withdraw. You're interrupting it. And in that space, something subtle begins to happen. Their system relaxes. Not instantly, not dramatically, but slowly, internally, beneath the surface. They begin to feel your absence differently, not as pressure, but as space. And space creates curiosity. Curiosity creates awareness. Awareness creates possibility. This is where real connection can begin again. 1. The pressure versus presence shift. Most couples don't realize they've turned love into pressure without meaning to. They talk more, they explain more, they ask more questions, but the emotional tone underneath becomes intense, even if the words stay calm. Because most people in relationships think effort equals closeness. But for an avoidant partner, too much effort without emotional safety feels like being cornered. Their nervous system doesn't register your effort as love. It registers it as demand. So instead of turning toward you, they quietly withdraw. It's not the closeness itself that overwhelms them. It's the feeling that they might lose themselves inside it. Disconnect version. You say, "Why are you being distant again? We need to talk." They reply, "I just need space right now." Connecting version. You say, "I can see you've been quieter. I'm here when you feel ready." Something in them thinks, "She's not chasing me. I can breathe." And when that shift happens, the walls between you start to come down, without either of you forcing it. 2. The nervous system speaks first. Here's the part no one talks about. Before your partner hears your words, their body already reacts to your emotional state. Most couples believe communication is logical, but the real truth is, communication is biological before it is verbal. Your tone, your pacing, your energy, all of it signals safety or threat. And when a partner feels emotionally overwhelmed, they don't argue, they retreat. Not because they don't care, but because their system is protecting them. You might hear silence. They feel regulation. What's moving through them is, "I need to calm down before I respond." Disconnect version. Escalation, repeated texts, emotional intensity. Connecting version. Calm presence, no pressure, emotional steadiness. And when you stay regulated, without withdrawing your warmth, something powerful happens. They begin to associate you with safety again. That's when your presence starts to invite them back, instead of pushing them further away. 3. The pursuer-withdrawer cycle. This is where most couples get stuck without realizing it. One person pursues, the other withdraws. Then, the first pursues harder, and the cycle repeats. Most couples think this is just personality differences. But beneath the surface, it's actually two nervous systems trying to protect themselves in opposite ways. The pursuer fears disconnection. The withdrawer fears overwhelm. Neither person is the problem. The cycle is. The more one person chases, the more unsafe the other feels. The more unsafe they feel, the more they withdraw. The more they withdraw, the more the other panics and chases. It's not lack of love. It's misaligned protection strategies. Disconnect version. Why won't you just open up? Connecting version, I want to understand you without overwhelming you. And when the cycle is interrupted, even slightly, something shifts internally. Her brain is quietly registering, this feels different. I'm not being pushed. That's when reconnection becomes possible. 4. Emotional space creates emotional awareness. This is the one most couples never figure out. Closeness alone doesn't create connection. Space combined with emotional safety does. When you step back, without resentment, without punishment, and without trying to teach a lesson, you create room for reflection. Not silence as manipulation. Silence as self-respect. Most people think pulling away means giving up. But in reality, it often creates the first moment where both people can actually feel their own emotions again. Disconnect version, silent treatment with tension. Connecting version, calm distance with openness. What's moving through them is, I didn't realize how much they meant to me until they weren't reaching anymore. And in that moment, absence becomes clarity. That's when longing can begin to reappear. 5. Curiosity replaces control. Most couples try to fix disconnection by controlling outcomes. More questions, more discussions, more solutions. But control kills curiosity. And curiosity is where connection lives. Here's the difference. Control says, explain yourself. Curiosity says, help me understand you. One feels like pressure. The other feels like invitation. And avoidant partners respond to invitation, not demand. Disconnect version, interrogation tone, emotional urgency. Connecting version, calm curiosity, no agenda. Something in him is saying, she's not trying to change me. She's trying to know me. And when that feeling lands, defensiveness starts to soften. That's where real dialogue becomes possible. Not forced, not rushed, just real. 6. Self-regulation changes everything. And this is where everything either stabilizes or collapses. Most couples regulate their emotions through each other. When one is anxious, the other becomes the regulator. When that doesn't happen, panic increases. But emotionally mature connection starts when each person can regulate themselves. Not perfectly, but consistently enough to stay grounded. This isn't about ignoring your needs. It's about not abandoning yourself while expressing them. Disconnect version, reacting from emotion, seeking immediate reassurance. Connecting version, expressing clearly while staying steady inside. Something in her is thinking, I can handle this moment without losing myself. And when you show up like that, your partner doesn't feel responsible for stabilizing your emotional world. That removes pressure, and pressure is what drives avoidance. 7. Value is felt through energy, not effort. Here's the final piece most people miss. Your value in a relationship is not measured by how much you do. It's felt through how you show up. Presence, calm, self-respect, not louder effort, not chasing, not proving, but grounded energy that doesn't disappear when the other person pulls back. Most couples think they need to do more to be chosen. But the real shift is becoming someone who doesn't lose themselves when love feels uncertain. Disconnect version, overgiving, overtexting, overexplaining. Connecting version, steady, clear, self-contained presence. And when that happens, the dynamic changes. They don't feel pursued, they feel invited. That's when they start turning toward you again. Not because you chased them harder, but because you stopped abandoning yourself to reach them. This isn't about playing games. It's not about tactics. It's about identity. You stop reacting. You start responding. You stop chasing. You start choosing. And your partner feels that shift before anything is ever said. This isn't a checklist. It's a new way of being in connection. And when you embody it, everything about your relationship begins to feel different, more grounded, more real, more mutual. Because the person you become changes the relationship you experience. And here's the line to remember. Love doesn't grow when you try harder to hold someone who's pulling away. Love grows when you become someone who no longer loses themselves in the process of loving.